Hello everyone. We're going to have a quick look at using the I'm thinking of a number technique to try and solve some basic algebraic questions. So here I have an algebraic question. These are all one steps to begin with, the four basic ones. The first one is a plus 7 equals 12. Another way of saying this is I'm thinking of a number, I add 7 and I get 12, because my number would be the letter I'm trying to find. So here I have added 7 to the problem. To get rid of this, just like I would with a number problem, I would subtract the 7. Now I'm going to set this up like so. Subtract 7. Now when I want to do this, because I'm subtracting 7, I'm going to get rid of it from both sides. It'll make a bit of sense. So a plus 7, taking the 7 away, leaves me with just a. 12, if I take the 7 away, leaves me with 5. So my answer is a equals 5. My next one over here is 15 equals b subtract 5. Now, first thing, it doesn't matter if our letter or our unknown is on the left or the right. Perfectly fine. So here it's on the right. So I'm thinking of a number, I take 5 away, I get 15. Well, you can probably already see the number, but let's do it properly. Instead of subtracting 5, I do the opposite, which is going to be plus 5. So I'm going to write it and set it out like this. If I'm adding 5 to both sides, I'm going to end up with 20 equals b, which is my answer. The next one, I have 4c equals 24. Just a reminder, 4c means 4 times c. We do not use the x for multiplication in algebra for obvious reasons, because x is a letter. So 4 times something is 24. Well, the something is obviously 6, but how would I set this up? The opposite of timesing by 4 is dividing by 4. Now it's important we set it up properly for the next kind of questions. So now 4c divided by 4, so times by 4, divide by 4, I get my original number, or letter should we say, which is c. And the other side, 24 divided by 4 is going to be 6. Now, on this side, I have d over 5. Now, in algebra, the fraction actually means divide. This means d divided by 5. So, if something's been divided by 5, to reverse it, I'm going to times it by 5. So d, if I times the d divided by 5 by 5, the divided by is cancelled out, so it leaves me with just d. Then I have 6. 6 times 5 is 30, which is my answer. So these are your 4 basic operations. Now let's look at when we combine a few of them together. So these are our 2-step equations plus a little extra challenging one at the end. Nothing here is too difficult if you do it slowly. So here I have 3a plus 2 equals 14. I'm thinking of a number, I times it by 3, I add 2, and I get 14. Well, let's work backwards. The last thing to happen was I added 2, so I'm going to subtract the 2. We do it in reverse order. If I subtract the 2 from this side, I'm left with 3a. If I subtract the 2 from this side, I'm left with 12. 3a equals 12. Notice I keep putting the steps here. It helps you particularly with equations with a lot of steps. So 3 times something is 12. Well, I'm now going to divide it by 3. A is 4. Now, over here, I have 5x minus 4 equals 21. So I'm thinking of a number, I times it by 5, I subtract 4, and I'm left with 21. Well, if I've subtracted 4 as my last thing, I'm now going to add 4 as my first step in reversing it. So 5x take away 4, add 4, leaves me with 5x. 21 add 4 leaves me with 25. Now 5 times something is 25. Well, I've times it by 5, so I need to reverse that process, which means divide by 5. I'm left with x equals 5, which is my solution. Now, on this question, I have 3 equals x over 4 subtract 2. Again, my unknown's on the right hand side. Doesn't matter if it's on the right or the left, perfectly fine. So I'm thinking of a number, I divide by 4, then I subtract 2. So I'm working backwards. The last thing that happened was subtract 2. So if I need to reverse this, the opposite of subtract 2 is add 2. So I'm going to write plus 2 here. 3 plus 2 is going to leave me with 5. Now I've got the x divided by 4, and that's all I'm going to have because the minus 2 has been counteracted by adding 2 to it. Now x over 4 means x divided by 4. To reverse a divide, I'm going to times by 4. 5 times 4 is 20. And of course, x is left. My answer is x is 20, or 20 equals x. Doesn't matter which way around you say it. Now, for the last one, I have a bit of a more complicated one. 2x plus 30 divided by 4 equals 15. There's actually 3 steps here. A more complicated question. So, reversing order, the last thing to happen here, I'm thinking of a number, I times it by 2, I add 30, I divide by 4. The last thing to happen is divide by 4. Very important you get the order correct. The opposite of divide by 4 is times by 4. So, if I times it by 4, well, the divide by 4 goes away, so that's just 2x plus 30. 15 times by 4 equals 60. Good. Now, my next step is I'm thinking of a number, times it by 2, I add 30. Well, let's get rid of 30, subtract the 30 off. Adjust the camera slightly. So, subtracting 30 leaves me with just 2x, and then 60 take away 30 is just going to be, well, 30. And my last step is to get rid of that times by 2. So I'm going to divide by 2. X equals 15. So for any of these types of equations, remember to use the I am thinking of a number to help you solve it. Thank you very much.